welcome to the commentary camp. School Parramatta on the Berkshire side, the fastest crew in Australia.
The School Parramatta,
coached by Robbie Williams.
Hampton School.
Spent some time with Robbie Williams down in Sydney when he was coaching at Scots College. He subsequently moved there back to his alma mater at School Parramatta. Hampton School I know very well. I work there on Mondays and Tuesdays, and was out with this 8 and their coach Helen Taylor, who's watching somewhere in the boat park just a week or two ago.
Nice to be here, Martin. This is going to be a very interesting race because we've just seen the PE St Paul's versus Shiplake. That crew going 5:47. This School Parramatta doing a 5:49 earlier in the year. What a start from both 8s already. Really nice and clean.
Look how Hampton have gone. I was talking to Helen Taylor, the coach, before the race. Well, there's a shot of School looking at Dimitri Duta in the stroke seat closest to us, the back of Lawrence Cleave in the Cox's seat. As they power off the start, Sam Duggan in the 7th seat. You can see him one behind stroke. Big 6-man, Maury Menzies. This crew none of them are above 6:15 on the 2K ergo.
That is big. Schoolboy level, all of them under 6:15. Those are big ergo scores. And we always talk about ergs not floating, but to me, this 8 looks like they're rowing really nice, aggressive start like you need to have in a men's 8 or in any 8. And they've got out to what looks like a half to 3/4 of a length over Hampton, right out of the blocks. And to me, that looks like they've taken the race by the scruff of the neck, and they are out in front.
There's Alex Creswell in the stroke of the Hampton boat. Jake Murray behind him with the 8-shot. Big strokes from Toby Gwynn in the 6th seat. Nice smooth rhythm set up from James Radford in the 5th seat. Charlie May behind him. Those boys have got to pull it out in the middle of the course. Edwin Martin at 3. Jake Green back in the 2 seat, and then up in the bows is Kai Kelly. There are the Hampton boys. Their mission for this race camp is to do a particular time to the barrier. They are blasting out to the barrier. They don't care what School Parramatta do, but they blast the barrier, and then they're asking the guys in the middle of the boat to really step up to the plate and hang on. I think School are gone now, to be quite honest.
So it looks like they have, and that's the way you have to race 8, isn't it, Martin? You have to get out, get that boat up to speed, and then just hang on there. And on form, if you've got a strong crew like this Australian 8, you want to be doing that race plan exactly as you've described, which is get out to the barrier, get there fast, and hang on. Because if you don't, the race is gone.
35 strokes a minute on the data you can see in that bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Around about 18.5 kilometres an hour. Pretty quick boat speed given this headwind condition. Dimitri Duta, the 18-year-old, is taking his crew over. He's got 2 head of the river wins. That's kind of like the national schools title down in Australia.
And for me, what looks really nice, and I love that little graphic that we got this year about the speeds and the rates, we get a little bit more insight into what those boats are doing. Particularly in the headwind, we can see that actually rate does not completely directly correlate to speed. So here you've seen a very fast Schoolboys 8 going down the course at 18.7 kilometres an hour, a fast boat speed, but at 34-35 strokes per minute. Not the highest, but getting really good distance per stroke, and you can see this lovely shot of where they've got clear water by a couple lengths over Hampton. Nice rowing from them.
So there's a lot of distance in this race yet to go. They're just in the front end of the course. School Parramatta came through yesterday's race very comfortably. Hampton School beat Brooks School of the USA in yesterday's race. It was a little tougher for them. They seem to be laying it down in the middle. Do you think their coach Helen Taylor's going to be pleased with what Hampton School are doing there, Cam?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're in this situation where you have a boat that's out front, they've left you can feel that clear water. It comes down to a little bit of communication between the coxswain and their crew. You obviously not lying to your crew, but you want to give them that little bit of a carrot to dangle. And at the moment, if I was in that Hampton boat, coxed by Frederick Darley, I would be saying that this is our race, this is what we've set out to do, we've got that barrier time, we want middle four to really commit, back up that stern pair of Jake Murray and Alex Creswell, and we want to put in a race that we can be really proud of, and then we can look back on Henley Regatta 2022 that we did our best from start to finish. So I'm sure that Helen Taylor, their coach, will be proud as long as they're executing.
So there is Alex Creswell in the stroke seat with the red cap on, head down, business end of the race coming up now, through the midpoint. Jake Murray backing it up, probably the strongest guy in this Hampton. He's only a little lad, but he's really powerful.
Interestingly enough, we can just see that same strokes per minute, so 34, 35 strokes per minute from Hampton, but look at that boat speed, so 1 kilometre an hour slower than their compatriots at School Parramatta. So that just goes to show that speed and rate are not always directly correlative. You need to make sure that you're maximising that distance per stroke and getting that really nice run of the hull. Nice little graphic there for us to get a bit more insight.
That's magic there, Cam. And School Parramatta, very historic school, over 191 years old. And old boy Robbie Williams runs the rowing programmes there. Both the headmaster and the deputy headmaster of School Parramatta have come over to England to watch their school compete. Interesting enough, I did read they are a member of the Headmasters' Conference, one of only 7 schools in Australia member of the Headmasters' Conference. And final fact for School Parramatta is they have won the PE back in 2001, and this is the first time the school have been over. So it's a long time, isn't
21
it?
years,
yeah,
there you go.
absolutely, 21st anniversary. And they reckon they're here to get to the Friday, Saturday, and why not have their eyes on the prize after a convincing row like this?
And it's a theme that we discussed a little bit yesterday when I was commentating with Sarah over from Australia, is that we have these foreign crews that are coming across the river, or across the pond, and they're making those big campaigns. You're not going to send a crew that doesn't mean business and that's got a real shot doing something here at Henley. And this is just a fantastic example for School Parramatta to be one of those 37 Australian crews that we've seen come across to Henley Royal Regatta, and what a fantastic sight it is to see them coming down the steward's enclosure. Beautiful entry of all 8 oars into the water, and to me it looks like that stroke is really pressed out. Obviously they've dropped the rate of striking a little bit, but lovely example of good distance per stroke rowing from them. Well done, boys.
So we see School Parramatta come up to the finish line of this Henley course. They have dealt with Hampton School quite convincingly. They cross the line and take this second day heat of the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup by a margin of some 2 to 3 lengths, I guess, from Hampton School, who have given it their all. They will exit the competition. You see the Hampton heads go down. They're absolutely exhausted. 3 cheers from School Parramatta. There's confirmation of that result.